rest of my life, rest of my life, rest of my life, rest of my forever. Yeah. This is my job for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. This is my job for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my telling the truth. Rest of my life. Loving the most high. All of my life. Rest of my life. Rest of my life. Rest of my life. Yeah. I'm standing my ground. The truth is the weapon. Please don't Malcolm X me. They shunning the message and killing the messenger. All over words. It must be the truth that I'm telling. These devils offended. You call it they trash. Don't buy up the shit that they selling. They label you bad. Got no releases the flags. Know what they hide. Know that my homeland ain't where I reside. Hey, who am I kid? I'm speaking to ears that never do listen. You gotta be talking them ditches. Helping the children. Principal mission. I am a pediatrician. I'm done with this story. Get it, this story. Brother, I'm doing my story. Cause we are the people. I'd rather be better, never that equal. The feelings is mutual. Ain't speaking no evil. Examine your leader. Not doing religion. I'm open with politics. Calling me so controversial. They say I'm too raw, but spit is so eloquent. Like I've been spitting in curses. Their business is personal. Won't charge you for food. Won't do what a church do. I do what a nurse do. I call on a doctor and wait on my number. Forever I'm humble. I live with my shame. Let me die with some honor. 100. This is my job for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. This is my job for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my telling the truth. Rest of my life. Loving the most high. All of my life. Rest of my life. Rest of my life. Rest of my life. Rest of my life.
Shalom, 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 y'all. It's Michael Israel. You watching Spiritual Combat. And as you could tell, just got back into Jacksonville just in time to do this special show. As you can see, we have the retired NFL stars, now Hebrew stars, Robert Mathis and Daniel Muir. They are hardcore Straitway, and we're gonna talk to them about life in the NFL and life after the NFL. And I'm sure this is gonna be a blessing to all you brothers and sisters out there. Shalom, Brother Daniel Muir. Shalom, Brother Robert Mathis. It's awesome to have you on the show. It's an honor.
Shalom.
All right. And for those of y'all watching, can y'all give me a 10 if y'all could hear them and everything's loud and clear? But yeah, how things going for y'all?
Things going well. Things going well right now. Just loving the Most High by being obedient. Number one, and following our great leadership that we have in Pastor Charles Dow and Pastor Corey Phillips and all of our elders. And number two, trying all we can to be a blessing to Israel.
Okay. And of course, we just, it was awesome fellowshipping with y'all up there at the Sukkot in Tennessee. If you could, tell the people a little about that and how it was for y'all up there.
It was a blessing. Glory to the King. Just to have every feast is bigger and better and more saints. So Pastor Charles Dow, bless his heart, man. He works on and off 24 hours a day, it seems like, just to prepare and to put a great feast together. And he did just that. And so he's the shepherd. He leads, and we follow. And it was a great feast.
All right, all right. So yeah, so basically, just for those of y'all watching, the format of this interview, because this interview we're doing here is I know there's a specific audience. I know this is gonna reach. It's gonna reach a lot of athletes out there and stuff like that. But kind of the format we're gonna go. I'm gonna just let y'all tell a little bit about your careers, and then the change. Basically, give you a testimony about how you came into the truth and why Straitway. Because that's a big thing. And one of the things I saw personally, just becoming a part of Straitway, but just kind of doing my research, is I saw that Straitway attracted a lot of really professional, elite type people who are very serious minded about anything they put their minds to. So we're going to definitely get into that. But Brother Daniel, if you could first just talk a little bit about what you do in Straitway, where you at, a little bit about your ministry out there in Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. Well, we're out here in Indianapolis, just north of the city, about 25 minutes outside of the city. Getting ready to be a little bit further north of the city, probably at that time about maybe an hour north of the city. But we're just here in the middle of the country. Indianapolis, everybody has to come through. A lot of times when you're traveling, you come through Indiana, whether you know it or not. That's why they call it the crossroads of America. But we're right here in the middle of the country, and with all these brothers, man, I got some very, very serious-minded brothers here. We have a good time out here as well, but with some very, very hard-working brothers. And like I said earlier, just trying to be a blessing to Israel any way we can, shape, fashion, or form. We're always getting saints here. We had saints from Michigan last Shabbat here. Whenever we're going down to the land for feasts, anything like that, we always get saints that stop through, because like I said, we're like the middle point, so it's growing here in Indianapolis. I lean on the elders and our leadership very, very heavy with that, because we take this thing very, very serious, and we see our leadership that continues to do this thing the right way. So I lean on them heavy with a lot of things, and just making sure we're doing things the right way, because the whole goal is to be a blessing to God's people, and number one really is to get into the kingdom.
Right. Brother Daniel, if you could can you talk a little bit about your football career and basically the early part of your career, of how you got into playing football and what key people, I guess, kept you on the path when you got started?
Okay. I really didn't take football too serious until really later on in high school. I had a great coach, a coach by the name of Mike Rucker, who really believed in me. I was getting recruited by, same stories, a lot of people. I was getting recruited by everybody in the country. I couldn't get my scores, SAT scores, and I ended up going to Kent State University, which I had a great time there. Played very, very well. When it came to the NFL, I didn't think, I saw guys like James Harrison and Josh Cribbs. Anybody who watched football know about these guys. I saw these guys not get drafted, so I really wasn't even thinking about the NFL. I thought I didn't have a chance. After my senior year was over, I went home during one of the breaks, and I ended up meeting the agent. He saw some film of mine, and he told me, he said, you're going to play on Sundays. And with that being said, I did not get drafted, but I got an invite with the Green Bay Packers. In 2007, I made that team. In 2007, and the next year I came to Indianapolis, where I met my good brother here, Robert Mathis. I spent 4 years here. And then I went to the New York Jets. I went from playing with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, seeing it done right. Then I came to Indianapolis, and I got to play with Peyton Manning and all the other greats that were there. And then I went to the New York Jets, and I had to play with Mark Sanchez. and then I finished up in Oakland. So I was done after that. But the Most High really was dealing with me my last year and a half in the NFL, because I knew the way I was living was just foul. It was all about me. I was very, very selfish. And the Most High just really started to break me, even when the league was over with. I was your champion Christian. You say it that way. I started to read the Bible, and I wanted to tell everybody about what I was reading. And it wasn't for at first, it wasn't for, the edification of the people. It was just to talk to people about what I knew. And with that being said, man, I started a Bible study, and I did the Bible study for almost 3 years after I retired, until I heard what real preaching was with Pastor Charles Dow. The first time I heard Pastor was through a conversation that I heard that I was speaking with Brother Kabir. I met Kabir in my rookie year. He was your champion Christian as well. Going out through the locker room, people really didn't like him. He was talking about the Bible, and people wanted to fight him all the time. And a real quick story, he said one time somebody asked him, if this whole building was to blow up, how many people do you think would go to heaven? Will go to hell? And Kabir said, probably 99.2%. When he said that locker room erupted, people was ready to fight him. So it's always the running joke with me and him is with a 0.2% that they heard the truth. And so when I heard Pastor Charles Dow through a conversation I had with Brother Kabir, when I first heard him, I was mad, and it was through arrogance too, because I was like, man, who is this man that got me, this talking to me like this? Mind you, he's all the way in Tennessee. I just heard him on a video, and I was mad. And I tried to prove him wrong, you know what I mean? And I think at the time, it may have been like a 6 or 7 minute video. I don't remember what the first video was, but I was trying to prove him wrong. And it took me well over a week. And I kept reading in the word, and I would press pause. Reading the word, I would press pause. And I couldn't prove this man wrong. And I remember the statement he made at the end of the video where he said, that you're going to realize that I'm your best friend. He said that at the end of the video. And it rang true. It rang true. After that, I met Pastor Corey Phillips, and up in Green Bay, Kabir told me, you got to get up here to meet Pastor Corey. Y'all kind of in the same profession. At this time, it's just because I train football players. And I went up there. I met Pastor Corey, and we was blown away. My family, everybody was just blown away. My son was diagnosed with autism, and he was nonverbal. My son didn't speak. His stomach used to swell up very, very bad based off what he was eating. And we didn't know what to do. My son would just scream and yell because he was in so much pain. And we tried the diet. The doctors tried to get me to put him on medicine, and I didn't agree to it. I said no. And when we went up to Green Bay, they did a mass deliverance there, Pastor Corey, and then he laid hands on my son and commanded healing on my son. And literally, when we got back home, my son started to speak. The swelling in his belly went down. And now, I got to tell my son all the time that to stop talking so much. He gets after it. But I really saw the power of the Most High. And at that point, I mean, I was not only because of what the Most High did for my family. Again, everything that Straitway Truth Ministries was doing, it was confirmed in the Word. I mean, from just the leadership, the elders, everything was just confirmed in the Word. And me being a man that likes direction, one thing that I missed when I left the NFL was we always got an itinerary, playbook. You know, here's what it is to be successful. Do this and you'll be successful. So when I left the NFL, I kind of missed that. And then when I came to Straitway, I realized that these men are using the Bible and just literally quoting and living what's written in that book and just telling you all you got to do is do it. Just do it. Don't say it, but just do it. And it started changing my life, man, from the inside out, the brothers and sisters that surround me. And we're continuing to grow. We're just continuing to grow. Hallelujah.
Now, how did you and Brother Mathis meet up?
Yeah. Oh man. So I had taken on a job as the director of football at this big, huge sports park. And I had heard through a friend basically that Rob was really looking to teach his skill of pass rush. And as you know, this is one of the greatest to ever do it. And so I reached out to Rob. Throughout the years, me and Rob kind of lost contact. So I reached out to him, you know, told him the opportunity, what was happening. And he said, yeah. He said, so I want you to come over to my house and we can talk about it. So I came over there one day and I had a shirt on and the shirt said Hebrew. And I remember when I walked in the door, Rob looked at me and he looked at my shirt. He looked at me again, he looked at my shirt. And then he was like, we're going to talk about this business, but we definitely going to talk about that shirt too. So I said, all right. So when we sat at the table, we tried to talk about business, but it went to the shirt. And then back and forth, and it kept going back to the shirt. And we got in a good conversation from there. I think I ordered a shirt. I ordered a shirt and had it sent to his house. And really, man, the rest has been, I introduced him by video to Pastor Dow. And I remember Rob called me one day and he said, man, this pastor just keep kicking me in my damn chest. You know,
Yes, sir.
And I mean, really the rest has been history, man. I'm watching, I mean, just like Brother Kabir, but I'm watching this man like literally humble himself on another level, man. And I'm seeing the joy he's experiencing as well from it, the peace he's experiencing, and you know, I'll let him tell the rest of the story on his behalf. So hallelujah.
And real fast, Rob, because when I was on my way, we were up in Atlanta, and we were driving back here to Jacksonville. I was on the phone with Rob, and you know, because I met him up there at the Sukkot and everything, and at the Great Awakening, but I never really got a chance to really talk to him. I really didn't follow football like that, but when I began to, I mean, the brother is a no joke modern day warrior out there. And Rob, if you could, I just, because we talked about a lot, but if you could talk about, and what we're going to do, we're going to bring it right back to where Brother Daniel left off at, but let's go back to some of the stuff we talked about. Rob, if you talk about how you got into football and some of the key people in your life keeping you on that path, if you could. So I'll hand it over to you.
Well, unofficially, I've always been into football ever since the age of 4. Like I told you earlier, every day of my life, I said I was going to be an NFL player every single day of my life. But officially, I didn't start playing till the 10th grade. And needless to say, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, where I was going, and how I was getting there. So all I knew was I like football, so I'm just going to play it.
But
Yeah.
now that's what he says. But because I was like, me and him were laughing because I was telling him, man, I tried to go out and play football, and I looked like an Ethiopian when I was younger. And I was like, man, it's too cold, and I didn't want to dive and tackle nobody because I was worried about hitting the daggone ground. Rob, tell them how y'all used to play football when you were younger, because he skipped over the basic training he went through. This dude was like bred like a Spartan in the streets, dude. Tell him, go into that thing, man.
I think everybody from the inner city knows this story. We used to call it street ball.
Yeah.
We called it personally sideline bus. We was in the concrete in the streets. Out of bounds was the curb, and so once you go near the curb, you get hit, you get tackled. All rules apply. We were playing football in the streets.
Tackle football on asphalt.
Yeah.
And look, and tell them about your size and the age difference. Break it down.
No, it was everything goes from the 30-year-old man to any kid that wants to play. You get in, if you get in the game, you can get hit. You get it. So it just groomed everybody that's playing. Just it's kind of fear was kind of like on a back burner. So once I actually got into organized football, I didn't fear anything. I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. And so it took a lot of just sticking to the process and just learning what's going on of organized football, because the hitting and the striking and everything else, that was there. But knowing what I was doing, that was not there. And after like my first couple practices in 10th grade, I wanted to quit because I discovered something called gassers. And so these are like, in the basketball world, these are suicides based on a football field, and it's for time. So I went home after practice, passed out. My mom, she came in the bedroom and just looked at me, feeling sorry for me, but she wouldn't let me quit. And every day, every day got a little better, but it was still tough until the point it just became who I was, and so part of my DNA. And it was off and running from that point on.
One of the things when I was talking to Brother Mathis earlier is, because I watched his highlight videos. I'm like, yo, I thought he went into high school and just dominated all through high school, through college, and into the NFL, and he went through that whole story. It was just straight grinding all the way through, just consistent grinding. Can you talk on that a little bit, on how you eventually rose to the top?
Oh, make no mistake, it was a grind from beginning to end. But like I said, I started 10th grade and didn't really become a guy on the team until my senior year. That's kind of when it took off. So I was able to get a scholarship, albeit the only scholarship and the only scholarship offered from Alabama A&M. Unlike my brother Daniel here, I didn't get recruited by everybody in the country. I got one offer, so the choice was pretty easy for me. So I went there, and this particular college, Alabama A&M, namely, it was the only offer the last offer that they had for the 1999 football season, because the guy that they really wanted turned them down on National Signing Day. So they just so happened to have one scholarship offer left. So they took a chance on me, offered it to me, and appreciate you, thank you, and I'll take it. And just made it work for me. But during my college career, it was still, and this is even at the HBC, I was still an undersized defensive end. So I had to do things that work for me versus trying to be somebody who I'm not, which is a 6'5", 280-pound defensive end. I'm 6 foot, 230. So I'm going to do what a 6 foot, 230-pound guy does on the football field. Fast forward to the NFL. There are 32 teams in the NFL, 32 teams in the NFL, and 31 of them wanted me to play something that I was not, which was a linebacker. The one team that wanted me to play my natural position was the Indianapolis Colts. 14 years later, I'm one of the guys that helped build the legacy that they have that they have now. Glory to the King, and I'm here. I met Dan, circle the wagons with Dan again. He came on the scene with the Colts in what year is that? 2007?
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Doing a whole lot of this. Champion Christian, doing a whole lot of talking. And I told him to his face, I said, look, I'm not a damn Muir fan.
Yep.
Because you come in here, you're talking, you're running your mouth, and you ain't walking. And so, needless to say, he took what I said to heart, and he started doing more walking than talking. And that kind of just started the whole process of us kind of growing together, whatever. So he left the team, and then a few years later, our paths crossed again. And with the whole Hebrew shirt, it started from a Hebrew shirt.
Yeah. And
it spawned a lifelong journey to Shemayim, needless to say.
Now, if you could, Brother Mathis, talk a little bit about what you were doing prior to, because you had already, you were already kind of searching history and stuff like that. Speak a little on that if you could.
Yeah, just like I told the people that know me, I've always been into history, really big in history buff, and a lot of stuff just wasn't adding up. The older I get, the more it just didn't make sense. So, and it really just started from an app, which was Black History in the Bible. So I'm looking at this. This was like a year and a half before I met, before me and Brother Daniel just crossed paths again. And it's like black people or the people of the Bible. That was the first topic that really just grabbed me. I'm like, okay, what is this? And this is in a process of me doing Ancestry.com, just trying to find my roots, trying to piece together my family tree, A, B, and C. And all this stuff is just coming together at the same time. I'm retired, and man, just a whole lot going on. And something was just tugging at my heart. And in Christianity, it just, the I's was not getting dotted, and T's was not getting crossed. I couldn't explain it, but I was always taught to never question God. So meeting up with my brother again, it was first thing he said, I'm not gonna give you my opinion. And another one is question everything. So that kind of flipped my world upside down. And needless to say, I had a whole lot of questions.
If you could talk about what you saw and how it was when you met Pastor Dow.
Oh, man.
Well, I think most of the people that know me know I'm not gonna bullshit. I'm not gonna sugarcoat, and I'm gonna listen, because I was taught, when you talk, you teach. When you listen, you learn. And Brother Daniel likes to talk, so obviously he likes to teach. And most of the stuff he says is A1 certified. But either way, he told me about this Pastor Charles Dow, and I started watching videos, actually start binge watching, to the point where I kind of start pressing him about, look, if you say this man is what you say he is, put me in front of him. I need to get. I don't want to talk to him on the phone. I don't want to. No, I want to sit in front of him and talk to him face to face. And he arranged it. And mind you, I did it for the reason of all I need is a sliver of a reason to any negative reason I can get. I can just disregard it and just walk away from it and not take it as serious and just find an excuse. Pastor, he made time for me to come down. Brother Daniel, he brought me down to Lafayette, Tennessee. I don't know. I still don't know how to get down there. But either way, we ate breakfast, we talked, fellowship, and I sat in his living room and everything. And throughout this whole time, I never got one negative piece of energy back. And mind you, I was desperately looking for that little remnant of negative, and I could not find it. And I knew a lot of what was on the table, and that's basically everything. If I wanted to be a part of the remnant per se, but I could say Pastor Charles Dow, he never, nothing about him was fake, artificial, and his quote is something that it'll stick with me, and I love it to this day. He say, "It takes a man to hear a man."
Yep.
And I always felt like, okay, I'm a man's man, but this guy, he's a man. He's a grown ass man, so he doesn't sugarcoat and he doesn't water down anything. If he's gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. And so I can always respect that because I respect men that just tell you like it is. Whatever they feeling, just say it. Don't dance around it. Don't sugarcoat it. And don't bull jive. Just speak on it. And that's exactly what he does.
Brother Muir, how was it? How'd you first meet Pastor Dow, and what? How did that go for you?
Oh man, this was after Green Bay, so it was during Passover, and I mean, I followed the steps, right? The bear told me, he said, you need to call it down the hall, you need to make yourself known, and then you need to call it a blog talk. Well, we had started listening a little bit prior, and I was listening to, man, I can't remember. It was these old guys out of Chicago as well. It looked like it was a 90s show. Man, I can't think of their names, but I was listening to them as well. But obviously, something just kept bringing me back to listening to Pastor Dow every single time. Just kept coming back. And then I started listening to Straitway songs. And there's one song that I fell in love with, which was with Elder Rufus singing Keep On Running. And man, I would listen to this, and then Brother Kabir was like, man, you got to call in the blog talk. So I called in the blog talk, and when I called in the blog talk the first week, I started singing that song. And then I called in the next week. I started singing that song, and the pastor was like, you really like that song, huh? I said, yes, sir. And what ended up happening was Passover, I came down, and as soon as I came on the land, I walked right in. Pastor Dow met me outside of his house, and he said, bless you, Brother D. And this is my first time meeting him. And he came and gave me a hug. And then he said, come in. And I went in his house, me and my wife and my children, and we sat down. And he was like, man, if you push this button, man, your feet will go up. So, you're trying to be modest. I'm like, oh, I'm all right. And he came right up and pushed the button, made my feet go up on the couch. So we just sitting back, and I was just watching, man. And it's pretty much the same thing I do now when I'm I find myself at times just watching Pastor Dow, watching our leadership. I just watch them, and I was amazed, just that seeing the land, seeing the people, especially because the first thing you see sisters that are different. You see a man and you see a man in some jeans or pants and a shirt, but you see sisters who not wearing makeup, not wearing jewelry, all their heads are covered. They all have on dresses or skirts, and I was just like, I was kind of amazed at what I was seeing. I was amazed at seeing the joy just on everybody. And I knew it. I knew it from Green Bay that this is where I was supposed to be. But the minute I got down the straightway and I met Pastor Dow, I met Mama Carol, I said, man, this is it. I knew right there. I said, this is it. And I knew at that point, I said, I got a lot to learn. And this is exactly where I want to be to learn it, because I know that they are living out what I was already reading. Because I was reading in that Bible for years. Like I told you earlier, I was studying the Bible. I was doing a Bible study. But I thought I knew something until I met, the men and women of Straitway, and realized I ain't know nothing. I knew nothing in this book. And like I said, I knew that's where I was supposed to be. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I ain't going nowhere.
Right. That's right. So if you could, we're going to talk about a couple other things. What the NFL is definitely an amazing opportunity for to be in, and most people absolutely they don't experience. But what are the tough parts of it, brother? I know me and you had talked a little about that. So if you could, what are some of the things that happen there that people don't see, that they're not aware of?
Man,
This,
you want to go to that?
Yeah. I'll start out with this, and as the Hall of Fame old teammate Marvin Harrison, he always said, I get paid for Monday through Saturday, Sunday free. And the more I thought about that, the more it rang true, because I think every player on any level in professional sports would do game day for free. It's always the preparation. The week of preparation is what you get paid for. And every day you're competing for your particular jersey on your back, not your spot, this, that, and the other. It's your actual jersey, because they're gonna bring in younger and cheaper talent.
Wow.
So the second you let off the gas, that's the second you get replaced. And so it's what have you done for me lately type of deal. I don't care what anybody says. It simply is. Loyalty doesn't exist. It's a business. It's a straight business. When you're on the field, you take care of your business as a team. But the second you step off, I always tell my guys, you become a CEO of yourself, and you handle yourself accordingly. But in the professional sports arena, is what can you do to not get replaced? And once you understand that, you'll hang around as long as you want to. But the thing, this area is just is a dog eat dog world. So you just have to handle your business accordingly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I put in there for those of y'all watching on Facebook. This is for y'all too, because I'm checking there too. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and put them in there. I see some brothers already put some questions in there. All right. So the first question that somebody asked Mathis, do you still hate quarterbacks since you've come into the truth? Oh.
If I'm wrong, I repent, but I still hate them.
All right. Elder Rufus is asking Brother Robert, when will he get his hat back.
I thought it was a gift, Elder. You gave it to me during the motorcade up in the at the Hebrew conference. I didn't know you wanted it back. Indian giver, I don't know.
Hey, that's King Hat too,
right?
This man, we call him King Hat around here. This man got visors and hats. That's him.
Yeah. All right. So we got some serious questions now. Elder Rufus asks, Brother Daniel, how does it feel being an assembly leader and starting up a new community?
Okay. Very fit. You realize the severity of it. I tell you what, I said it the other night. Me and Kabir, when we first came into the ministry, when I saw the severity, when I saw these men, I told Brother Kabir, I was like, I just want to be Brother Daniel. That's it. That's all. I just want to be Brother Daniel. And through a little mishap, one of our elders, I never forget it, he grabbed me like this. And he looked at me and he said, I live here. And then he said, and you're going to be a leader in Israel. And when he said that to me, man, it rocked me to my core. And I straightened up real fast at that point. And with that being said, when it came to right after that, I mean, I started getting calls from this same elder. Hey, there's a person in Indianapolis that's looking for fellowship. Hey, there's another person. And had me calling this person and that person and meeting people. And I knew it was on from there. So I realized the severity of it because, I watch people watching me that's here. And you know what you got to do, which is very simple. I tell people all the time here, whatever you see at Straitway headquarters is what the same thing we're going to do here, bottom line. I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I ain't got to figure nothing out because I'm watching these men do it and do it the right way. And then I always inform people that we all we got. Everybody that came into this walk, we've given up everything, man. We've given it up. So I always tell people, man, we all that we got. And that's why I lean, like I said earlier, I lean on leadership. I really do. I be calling elders. Pastor Corey, we always on the phone. I call Pastor Dow because I just want to make sure I'm doing things the right way. So it's a fearful thing. And then I also realized two things is, I don't know why people always are saying, hey, it's like a thirst to be recognized or to be shown like I'm this, or I have some sort of authority. Because when you see these men do it, and when they have to issue judgment, or when they have to, rebuke a brother or do something like that, like, man, that's hard to do. That's hard to do. So I don't understand that. I mean, I really truly don't. But obviously, Pastor and the elders saw something, and they decided to start sending people in Indiana here. So I knew I had to do it, and I got to do it the right way. With that being said, as well, a lot of people, when Pastor Dow congratulates you or speaks about you or speaks about, your community or whatever you're doing in a good way, yeah, you like, we doing something right. But me, that's like, okay, straighten up more. Like, a lot of times I'd be like, man, when Pastor say something, if he said something about Indiana, I'd be like, man, all right, Pastor, like, because you realize that with that being said, people are listening to what Pastor Dow say, just like I'm listening. So whatever he says, people are watching. all the more. So it strikes more fear in doing things, number one, with what the Most High tell you to do. Because you know that Yah has placed his name on Straitway. You know that Pastor Dow is a man of Yah. So you know that he's a direct representative. So whatever he says, you know that's coming straight from our Father as well, because it's confirmed in the Word. So it strikes another fear on another level for the Most High, where it's just like, whew, all right, let's make sure we're doing things the right way. Let's go harder. Let's go harder. Let's go harder. And I'm always, just even before we got on the phone this evening, I was talking to the brothers about that, about just the severity, in going harder. So I hope that answers Elder Rufus' question, and whoever else might have been wondering that, but it's a serious thing. We have a good time here in Indy too. I don't want to say it like we just some boards walking out here stiff. We have a good time. We enjoy each other. We enjoy the fellowship. And one thing about the game of football is it teaches us how to build camaraderie between each other. You know what I mean? So we're very, very tight-knit as brothers here. But it's twofold. It's a balance to it. And realizing the severity as well, because people's souls is at stake at the end of the day. We got to do this thing the right way.
And we will fire everybody up. You want it, you can get it. Fire your asses up.
All right, shout out to Brother Gideon. Brother Gideon's in there. He asked a question. Brother Gideon asks, how does it feel being set free and in the truth?
Hallelujah.
Whew. Man, by the world standards, I've been a pretty successful man, glory to the King, but by the world standards, before I came into the truth, I was an utter failure. And coming into this truth and being chosen by the Most High is the greatest accomplishment that I could ever think of, because it's just, it lets you know that you are loved and it's unconditional and it's forever. And this is your soul, flesh, and everything, all the above. So daily I think about it, and daily I try to earn my keep in the Lamb's Book of Life.
Hallelujah. Man, that's a good question too, because I tell you one thing that we've been speaking about around here is what the Most High said to Cain. He said, if you do good, will you not be accepted? And with that being said, when I was in Christianity, everything was so vague. Like, you didn't really know what you was doing. Like, it's just like, oh, just love, oh, just do this. Oh, but it was always so vague. So really, you just going off of whatever you feel. But when I found out that these scriptures was written to my forefathers, and it's just like it all exploded at one time, because my whole family's from Jamaica, and I grew up listening to them old time reggae songs that would all speak about the 12 tribes, we Judah, and all of these things. And I was just like, man, like, so it all exploded at once. And then, so when you understand who you are, and obviously it came through, Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 26, Jeremiah 17:4, you start to really look. But when you realize that these are your forefathers, and not only that, you have a responsibility to live this word. So now I can open up the Bible and I can say, okay, I'm supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do this. I know what sin is. I know how the Father knows that I love him. I know what makes him happy, what makes him joyful. I know what pisses him off with. So to be able to know these things, it was just beautiful, because now when you can just do it, now you can start to fulfill Deuteronomy chapter 4, which is literally all these other nations wondering, man, what is it about y'all? This happens all the time. What is it about y'all? Man, y'all love for each other is on another level. Y'all, it's like y'all thinking the same. A lot of times people be like, man, y'all always, if you say this about one brother, another brother get on you, Lord. These brothers always connected. It's always like that here. And people want to be a part of that. I noticed that even people that's in the world, because they see our camaraderie, because they see the love we have for one another, we're literally seeing Deuteronomy chapter 4 fulfilled. Because they're wondering, when we talk about the Most High, who is He? You know, what y'all follow a different way. This is exactly what's happening. So coming into the truth, man, this thing it's just a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life. It's very serious, but it's beautiful. It's peace. It's joy at the same time. So I hope that answers Brother Gideon's question.
All right, good. All right. Another brother asked. Let me go to the question because there's a bunch of questions coming in. Another brother asked, how important is it as and hold on. Let me see. Trying to find. Basically, what they were asking is, being retired NFL athletes, how has that helped or has it hindered? Is it a good tool that you use to be a witness to bring this truth out?
Well, it depends on your point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're still trying to be in the professional world, no, it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. I'm just keeping it 100. But if you're serious about being close to the Most High, you don't give a damn. With me, I have professionally, it's a whole lot to lose, but I don't give a damn. I just care about getting closer to the Most High.
Exactly.
At any and all costs. So all I can do is just try to learn from those that know more than I do. Matter of fact, Brother Daniel is younger than I am by a few years. I was the leader in the football world, but he's the leader doing this walk. So I follow his lead. I have no problem humbling myself, and so from there it becomes, to the elders. To the elders, it becomes to the pastors, Pastor Corey, and ultimately Pastor Dow. It's about those that know more than you. You follow their lead. You people that walk the talk. Those are the people that you follow.
Right. I'm with that. Footwork.
People that talk the walk. It's ultimately Christianity.
Yeah. Sister Kristen asks, how do you compare the camaraderie amongst the brothers in the ministry compared to that in the NFL locker room?
You want that one?
No, you got it.
All right. Okay, it's simple. It's a good question. It's simple because the camaraderie in the locker room is all to win games, right? At the beginning, every single year, every single team comes in with the same goal. We're going to win our conference. We're going to win whether you're in the AFC or the NFC, and then you're going to ultimately win the Super Bowl. Everybody got the same goal. But you see that goal can be flawed because everybody's in it for themselves at the same time. It's all about a contract. It's all about how can I set up myself, blah, 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 blah. However, with that being said, as soon as the game was over, you got the people from coaches or players. Oh man, hit me up. Give me a call. We for life and all this stuff people talk about. But here's the difference with this walk. This is for the kingdom. And with that being said, you still have a motivation to do well when you're alone because, what is it, Matthew 6, talking about storing your treasures in Shemayim. So you want to make sure that you are doing the right thing, but you ultimately are fulfilling it by helping your brothers as well, too, by living righteous, living holy, living set apart. So the stakes is not the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl comes and goes. What are they, 55 Super Bowls now? I might be out the loop, 50-something. But this is for the kingdom. There's only one kingdom. And every single day we talk about it here, we pray that we be found worthy to enter to the gates of the city. And that we can get to this wedding feast. And when we get to this wedding feast, that we be dressed accordingly. So the camaraderie here has to be right. It has to be right all the time, period. Now, do we have hiccups? Yeah, but we know how to talk about it as men because the word gives us direction on how to do that. So, you know, it's the severity is so much different. So the seriousness is so much different. You know, I hope that answers the question.
All right. So I'm looking at the questions over on Facebook, and I'm looking at the questions over on YouTube. And Brandon McCoy, shalom, Op. Good to see you there. He asked a question. Yeah. Bulk. Hey, but him and Sister Shonda asked similar questions. They said, how was this transition for your families?
Tough. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it could be tough. That's right.
Yeah. Very, very tough. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the few that have had my wife. My wife has followed me into this truth. I got sons, but really outside of that, it's been gone. But I got a bunch of mothers now, a bunch of sisters, bunch of brothers, fathers in ministry. Man, look, who was my mother, my brother? Is them to do the will of my Father.
And it's two of a family.
One of that city. So at the end of the day, I mean, natural family was tough, but I'm blessed, man.
Right.
I got Israel.
So, real fast, one of the things I talk about on my show, and you know, and Pastor Dow, he encouraged me to, and Rufus, to. I watch footwork. I watch how people are moving, just like Mathis was saying. You know, walking it like you talk it, and speak a little bit on the fact that and me, I've dealt with ministries and camps and congregations all across the Hebrew community, and you know, one of the interesting things I notice about Straitway, they attract like professionals, whether it's NFL athletes or high level military people. Speak a little bit on the coming out of the NFL. How I guess in the NFL, I know Kabir spoke on real good about the high level quality of leadership in the NFL. Did that? How did that come in when it came to looking at Straitway and Pastor Dow, and what are the similarities with all that?
Well, real quick, I know from the athlete standpoint, the ones that are most successful, you have basically daily itineraries. The coaches, all right, do this, and this, and you'll be successful. If it's proven and it has a positive track record, that's what I'll do. No questions asked. You said, I'll do it. And that was one of the main things that I said to Pastor Dow when I first met him. I told him just flat out, I said, look, I really don't like a whole lot of talking. I don't like to do a whole lot of talking. Once it's in my spirit that you're for real, or I can discern that you are for real with this, you said, I'll do it. That's pretty much what it is. And he said, well, shit, Brother Mathis, you'll make the perfect Hebrew.
I love it.
So,
that's fascinating. That's good, man.
Yeah. So as far as I guess football guys and military guys, it's you said, we do it. That's it. We carry orders out.
Okay, all right. I like that. You know, I like that military mindset. We got a good question here from Brother Stephen. He asks, how do you brothers stay humble in the walk considering you have obtained riches in your past? Also, advice do you all have for young brothers in the faith?
I can definitely attest to this. When it comes to, I've experienced any and everything in I guess the professional athletic life or whatever the case, and it wasn't fulfilling. It was always a something. It's always a void. There's always a gap, something there that you always wondering about. Okay, who's real, who's fake, who's being genuine, who really has your back. And coming into this faith, it's still a whole lot of people. I still don't know their name. I call them brother, sister, and whatever the title that applies, elder, pastor. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that they are for me. I don't have to worry about being taken advantage of once you get, to the heart of the matter. And it's quite reassuring just being in the truth. I mean, just the flat out truth. And once you're in that Christianity, things like that, and it's this all these questions that's unanswered, and you can't question because they say don't question God. To being in the truth, and our shepherd, Pastor Dow, says question everything, to the point where I don't have any questions because they all been answered, and he teaches you how to answer those questions by looking behind words in the good book, in the scriptures or whatnot. And so it's just a whole lot of stuff that I'm still learning, but a lot that I've learned. I'm actually more so the past 7 months than I have my whole life.
Wow.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I have a question, my own question, kind of tying in on that, because as y'all know, if you watch the media, there are other brothers out there, in professional sports coming into this truth, and probably some that haven't made it public yet. What would be your advice to other athletes or high-level professionals, public figures coming into this truth? What would be your advice to them? What would you tell them? What do you, what could you say to give them some wisdom on this?
I would say take the pressure off yourself. Man, this thing here, freedom, man. It's freedom. Like, take the pressure off yourself. I mean, and here's what I mean. People are, when people see a high-level athlete or somebody that name has influence, you always got to live this life of you have to be perfect, and you have to always look some way in amongst people and all of these things. Well, when you come into the truth, it's just like, okay, yes, I'll be submitted to my leadership. And not only am I submitted to my leadership, I know that 99.9% of the stuff I was dealing with before, it didn't matter. It was all vanity. It was a bunch of pressure to uphold an image for everybody else. And it's like, who cares? Now it's like, it literally is, who cares? It's freedom here. It's literal freedom. It's liberty. Because all of that weight has just been lifted off. And not only that, on the flip side of it is, when you attain money or what people call riches, you think that can be the antidote or the medicine or the fix for every single thing that you're dealing with. And then when you realize the more and more and more you get, you realize that it's not. And here it is, I came to a ministry because the Most High Yah sent me to be a part of this. He led me to this ministry. And I'm literally seeing problems and issues that I've dealt with in my life for years and years and years, that I've spent money on, that I've talked to people, counseling, all of this foolishness, literally by me being taught how to pray, being taught to receive the baptism of the Holy Spirit, how to pray, how to go before the Father the right way, repent, turn away from my wicked ways, sit my tail down in the chair, get deliverance. And I'm watching problems and things that I've suffered with for years that I had no cure for, no matter what it was, being taken out of my life, like just like this. So Take the pressure off yourself. Don't you want to be set free? I mean, some people don't. Some people like that attention and that limelight. Man, look, now it's freedom. It's freedom. Take the pressure off yourself. That's my advice.
All right, and Brother Mathis, I definitely gotta get your answer on it.
Man, I almost forgot the question, man.
All right, well, nah, yeah. What the question was, what advice would you give to other high level athletes that or public figures, people like that that are beginning to come into the knowledge of this truth?
Well, I think it's taking the pressure of public opinion off yourself, because that kind of drives a lot of us. It's okay. What are what are they gonna think? What are these people thinking? What family, friends, inner circle, just everything associated with that. Once you start alleviating the pressure of outside opinion, you can start the process of getting free. Now, truth becomes clear, a lot more clear to you, because it's in front of you. It's not what people this person says or that person says. It's you getting in front of the Most High and submitting yourself and just hearing. Because I'm speaking from experience. It was okay. I have all these people that's blocking me from the truth per se, because it doesn't benefit them. You need to understand, if you have an ear to hear, that's the greatest gift you can ever think of, dream of, fantasize about, and whatever the case. And you need to take it serious, because this is the real deal.
Awesome. That's good. That's good. Brother Daniel, Elder Rufus wants you to speak on the importance of deliverance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing our ministry harps on continuously is deliverance. I mean, at the end of the day, when you see our shepherd get deliverance, he talks about himself getting deliverance. One of the statements that got me when I first came is he said, I've never met anybody that wasn't full of demons. He said full of them. And we took that to heart. We take that to heart over here. I mean, it's all the time. We try to get deliverance, because at the same time, we heard Pastor say it too. Pastor said when he first came in, this was he said almost every day they was doing deliverance. So we take deliverance very, very serious. And then not only that, it builds the bond between your brothers even better, because, and this is a statement Elder Rufus made to me. He said 95% of your deliverance happens before you even sit down in the chair. And that is the flat out truth. That's the flat out truth, because now you're able to open up amongst brothers and talk about stuff you'll never talk to nobody else about. You'll never talk to no therapist, wife, whoever. You won't talk to nobody about this stuff. But you're able to sit down, talk about it, go through these prayers, and realize that other brothers might be struggling with the same stuff. Go through prayers, repentance, break all of these legal grounds, denounce and renounce all of the wickedness that you've been involved in, all of your family and your bloodline's been involved in, and then being able to sit down and get deliverance from it and watch these demons flee from you and being cast out. And who was it being cast out? It's being cast out by your brothers, the same ones you. So it just shows the love that they have for you, and then you're able to return that love and love back on your brother. So deliverance is, I mean, extremely important, and that's why the Messiah said that that he literally that you're supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be casting out devils, you know. So it's extremely important.
That's good. That's good. All right. Somebody asked, what are the future plans of the community up there in Indianapolis?
Hallelujah. Well, we're very, very close to closing on to closing on a lot of land. We've had some hiccups in it, but we ain't giving up because we're going to get this land. We're very, very close to it. It's going to happen. And just be set apart. Every time I go down the Straitway, I always learn something else that they've done or something else that they're doing on the land to be a benefit to the Saints. And like I said earlier, we're going about an hour north, and that's the goal, to be a blessing to Israel, to live set apart, grow our own food, have our own chickens, our own cows, whatever. You know, there's a lot of deer, turkey where we going, fish. I mean, all type of things where we going. But to literally live set apart, that we don't have to depend on this system for nothing. That is the goal. And it's fruitful work. It's not sitting at a desk, typing on a computer. It's actually going out, doing work, and seeing your labor, seeing what you're doing. And that's what I watch Straitway as many times as I've been down there do. And I just see the joy on the people. I see the satisfaction on the people. And I want that. I want that for my life. I want that for my wife, my children, my brothers. I want that. And that's exactly what we're getting ready to do. Because, again, that's freedom. That's freedom.
Brother Mathis, if you could talk about the importance of work ethic when it comes into anything, I guess, you're doing.
Well, I'll leave with this. I personally have never seen talent beat grind. I mean, true grind. Guys, well, male and female, if you're willing to put in the work to achieve whatever it is that you want to be, you'll do it. This is just flat out. That's the bottom line. A lot of guys in the NFL world, they feel like talent can get them by, only to get disappointed once they get in the building that a guy that doesn't have as much talent, but he's outworked them, whether it's classroom, whatever the case, being a professional as far as weight room, classroom, all your diets and exercise, everything's associated with being a professional athlete, outclass that guy with talent that doesn't do anything but just try to get by with talent. So never underestimate the value of hard work.
That's good.
That's really good.
That's real good. Did you have something,
Nah, there's nothing to come back from that. That was good. That was good.
Hey, I'm posting that on Facebook. That's a good. All right. What are those shirts y'all wearing? What is that?
What? Come on, this? This right here? The original Gridiron Game. Shout out to our dear brother Steve, our beloved brother in Canada. We told him that what we wanted to do, and with the training, and this thing is getting ready to venture off in the other areas too. But this is something that me and brother Rob thought about, put it together, and the original Gridiron Gang. It's our training company as of right now, but we getting ready to do some other things with it too.
Okay. And when you say training company, talk about that a little bit.
We train athletes, as well as Brother Lee. Brother Lee is another brother here who right now puts in the most work, as far as the training goes. But we train football players. Brother Lee trains all athletes, but me and Rob specifically football players of all position, of every position. We train them, get them ready, teach them the game, teach them what we know about the game, and we seeing them be successful. So that's what we're doing, and bringing it all back into Israel.
Awesome. If people tell the people again, because I mean a ton of people have tuned in now. We got a lot of people watching now. Tell the people again where you're located at, and if they want to come fellowship with y'all, how to get it, what they need to do.
Yeah, we are in just north of the city here, right as of right now in Carmel, Indiana, about 25 minutes outside of Indianapolis. If they want to get in touch with us, all you got to do is you've seen Pastor Dow's videos. The number that's sitting right behind Pastor Dow on all of his videos. If you call that number, that's a dining hall. And just let them know where you're located. You're in Indiana. We get people from Indiana, Ohio, Chicago, all over. Let them know where you're located. And Elder, you're going to get a call back from Elder Becker, and then Elder Becker will get you in contact with me here, and we're going to meet you. We're going to meet you. We're going to talk with you. We're going to vet you and make sure, because we're not just letting it. This ain't, Pastor always says, this ain't Christianity. We just ain't letting nobody. We work too hard in Deliverance to just let any spirits come up. But anyway, follow them directions. You can meet us out here. And you meet some good brothers, some serious-minded brothers, some beautiful sisters, beautiful children. And that's the way to get in contact with us.
Okay. And Elder Rufus just posted the number over there on YouTube. Koya, if you could, if nobody already did it, Koya, go ahead and post the dining hall number on Facebook over there for the people.
I got something for you, Brother Mike.
All right. Oh yeah, that's
there you go.
That's gonna be the next show. That's right.
There you go.
Talk, yeah, man. Speak on that.
Go. This is my son. One day, man, he started writing out this comic that he liked based off him and his brothers, and it's called The Three Hebrew Warriors, and it's pretty funny, I might say. But if you're interested in it, it's a comic/coloring book that they made, and it's a pretty interesting story with it. And one of the brothers in the ministry, his sister came and she saw his drawings in the story, and he drew. And he said, "Man, can I please draw that?" He said, "This story from your son really, really inspired me to go back and start drawing again." And Bryson said, "Yeah."
Show him that fire-breathing Jezebel dragon up in that mud.
the Jezebel dragon with the Jezebel. I'm not sure you can see it. But yeah, so
hey, you hit your phone. I think you hit. There you go. There
we go. Yeah, the Jezebel dragon with the Jezzy breath. It's. I'm not gonna give you all the story, but it's pretty cool, man. If you're interested, it's something good for the children. They'll have a good time reading it and coloring with it.
And if people out there want to buy that, what do they need to do?
They can email Yah Comic Books. So YAHCOMICBOOKS. Yah Comic Books @gmail.com.
Koya, post that on in the comments on Facebook and YouTube there. So Kabir, K Bizzle's in the house.
KB master.
Yeah, my man K Beer, he's in there. Hey, Kabir said that Jezebel dragon looked like his ex-wife. Yeah.
Oh, man, we didn't see it.
All right. So, appreciate that, Elder Rufus. Elder Rufus posted that in there, and they posted it over there. So yeah, man, and yeah, we're gonna have Brother Daniel's son on here soon. We're gonna promote that magazine for him. I'm getting ready to get the Brew link. It's up and running, but I'm getting ready to. There's some stuff I gotta update on it because a bunch of people have posted fake profiles in it. But once I get the Brew link up, I'll have them. That'll be a good landing page for them. The Brew link, it's a Hebrew Israelite everything portal. So, all right, but did y'all have anything else? I'm gonna let y'all. If y'all got anything else, I'm gonna let y'all talk, and I'm gonna see if there's any other questions out there for y'all.
I ain't got nothing else, man. Bless you, Israel. We love y'all dearly.
All right. Let me see. Let me check over here on YouTube. See what folks is over here. Kabir said he loves the coloring book. He said it's awesome.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, man. I think this interview it's important because I've already got wind of other athletes that are out there that are coming into this truth, and like I said, and that's something I do want to ask y'all about because we've heard stories out there, and this ties in with a question I just saw about a brother asked, have you ever been approached by mega church pastors? And what I want y'all is answer that, but I also want both of y'all to speak about, look, there's a lot of thirsty, greedy, money grubbing people out there. And of course, y'all are big time, you know what I'm saying? Speak about the difference of Straitway versus some of these other, like they said, these mega church money grubbing pastors out there, man. Because athletes, other professional athletes, are watching this. So go ahead.
Yeah.
I will tell you straight like this. The difference between a Creflo Dollar and a Charles Dowell is that Pastor Charles Dowell is not going to ask you for anything. Matter of fact, he's gonna buy for you. He's gonna provide for you. You have to, you damn near got to beat him to the punch. But if it's a different type of pastor, you have to. They're gonna ask for you to pay tithes, offering, building fund, dig deep, give till it hurts.
Give till it hurts.
Just all this stuff, man. Just until it vexes you, until you're not giving with a free spirit. But with Pastor Dowell, you genuinely want to, because you see his, as you said, Michael, his footwork. Yep, his footwork is A1 certified, and you back him wholeheartedly. But anybody else you have to just give till it hurts, man, and trust me, they're gonna want you to give till it literally hurts.
And it's gonna, it's gonna hurt.
I'm gonna tell you, when I was done playing, I did public speaking for briefly for a few years, and I spoke in a lot of churches. I mean, I remember one pastor told me, "Don't speak too much about the Bible, because there's just a lot of new people." And then he said, they really just want to hear about football. Literally. All while they reaching their hand out and asking you for money. And you giving money, you doing this. Let me tell you this. Pastor Charles Dowell has never asked me for a dime. In fact, when Pastor Charles Dowell was here, just like Rob said, we had to beat him to the punch. We was playing with him one time. We was in we went to, I think, to 511 to get something boots or something, and the bill was already paid. And when Pastor came out, we said, "You got it." Just playing. The pastor was like, "Hey, hallelujah," and we was like, "We just kidding," like you had to beat him to the punch. And he's never asked for a dime. But here's the thing, though. Do I give? Absolutely. And I do it joyfully. Why? Because, alluding to what we said earlier, you're being set free. You're watching people being set free. He's putting you on his land, putting you up in his houses that he's built with his own hands. Man, the story goes on and on. It's just one of the foolish things people always trying to accuse. Where does he get his money? Where does this? Man, stop that mess. He has never asked me for a dime, but I freely enjoy giving to this ministry because you see the people of y'all being enhanced and being improved. So,
that's good, man. Brother Kabir asks, how does Rob's ex-teammates think about this walk?
I don't care.
That's good. Yeah. All right, let's see where. Ooh. All right, so yeah, I think we pretty much got them all, man. And that, I'm glad that I think that was that last question. I think that's gonna go far because there's, I hear about stuff in the Hebrew community and things that are going on, and it's that's definitely what people need to hear. Brothers, I appreciate y'all coming on the show. Look forward to chopping it up with y'all again in person, and anytime y'all want to come on the show, definitely let me know. I'll bring y'all right on. So definitely appreciate y'all. For those of y'all tuning in, I want to remind y'all again, we're going to be in Atlanta on Thanksgiving Day. We're going to have a community building conference. Pastor Dow's going to be out there. Kabir's going to be out there. He's confirmed. Brother Gideon's going to be out there. It's going to be a lot of Straitway brothers and sisters. Are y'all going to be out there?
Indy will be there. We will be there.
There you go. So they're going to be in the building. So it's going to be an awesome event. What we're doing, I am taking advantage of these holidays that they have, so that instead of sitting in your house, watching your family suck on turkeys and just basically be wicked and be around, wicked family members, we're going to be talking about community building. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about getting this nation together, and it's not going to be a whole bunch of talk. You're going to see people and be around people who are doing this thing. So I think it's going to be a blessing to the Hebrew community. But anyway, with that said, man, I hope this show was a blessing to y'all. If this show was a blessing to y'all, so support this show by hitting that subscribe button, or if hit the like button, share it, get the word out, and because this is the whole goal, man. Spiritual Combat is showing y'all people who are doing this thing, not people who are talking about it. These are real brothers, man. These are warriors, real soldiers. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to take y'all out with the same song I brought y'all in with, and that is Rest of My Life by Beloved Daoud. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
Strength
and honor.
Rest of my life, rest of my life, rest of my life, rest of my forever. Yeah. This is my job for the rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my life. This is my job for the rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my telling the truth. Rest of my life. Loving the most high all of my life. Rest of my life. Yeah. I'm standing my ground. The truth is the weapon. Please don't Malcolm X me. They shunning the message and killing the messenger. All over words. It must be the truth that I'm telling. These devils offended. You call it they trash. Don't buy up the shit that they selling. They label you bad. Got no releases the flags. Know what they hide. Know that my homeland ain't where I reside. Hey, who am I kid? I'm speaking to ears that never do listen. You gotta be talking them ditches. Helping the children. Principal mission. I am a pediatrician. I'm done with this story. Get it, this story. Brother, I'm doing my story. Cause we are the people. I'd rather be better, never that equal. The feelings is mutual. Ain't speaking no evil, examine your lead. Not doing religion, I'm open with politics, calling me so controversial. They say I'm too rough, but spitting so eloquent, like I be spitting in curses. Their business is personal. Won't charge you for food, won't do what a church do. I do what a nurse do. I call on a doc and wait on my number. Forever I'm humble. I live with my shame. Let me die with some honor. 100. This is my job for the rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my life. This is my job for the rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my. Telling the truth. Rest of my life. Loving the most high. All of my life. Rest of my life. Rest of my life.